Should we start?
Sure.
Should I start? Should I start? Should I start? I'm going on Do Not Disturb. So no one can disturb me. I like putting on Do Not Disturb. So when people text, Maddie Smith has notifications silenced. I just swallow my gum.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay. Hi everyone, welcome to the Madhouse. My name is Maddie Smith. This is the podcast where I talk about whatever the fuck I want. And if you don't like it, then I will be very sad. I'm joined today by my two producers, Caroline and Ryan. What's good in the hood, you guys?
Not much.
Staying cool.
Everything.
It's 90 degrees today.
Yeesh.
I was sweating walking here. A man in our building definitely looked at my tits when I walked in. Mm-hmm. What am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Nothing.
He was like, so, hot day. I was like, yeah.
Hot tits.
Yeah, and my tits are...
So,
You don't want to look at my tits because they sag in the heat. They sag in the heat. So we got a good episode coming up. We got a good episode coming up.
Right up. What's new with you, Maddie?
Oh, what do you like to know? Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. There's a lot new with me, actually. I went hiking this weekend. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Call me freaking Anthony Bourdain because I have no reservations about the, what is it called? Hackleberry or whatever state park in New Jersey that I went to, where I learned how to fly fish. My conclusion, not for me. Not for me. Okay? The rumors about fishing are true. Boring as fuck. Okay, that's my hiking story. Oh my God, I'm so bad.
Wait, didn't you tell me a story about you took an Uber and the guy was like making fun of hikers who go to Nepal?
Yes, I did. Caroline, I always talk about the Ubers in New York City. Some of them will talk to you a lot, and they all are like, back in my country, I was an engineer. I was a doctor. Here, no, I have to be driver because they don't accept my skills. They don't accept my engineering skills. They don't accept my degree. So my only option is Uber or Bodega. And I go Uber because I can drive my own car, but the benefits are very, very minimum. But where I'm from, I have a wife and children. I haven't seen them in 10 years. I love New York. I love New York so much. It's the best city. Some of the food you can find in Jackson Heights are through the roof. Yeah, for sure. I'm on my phone. I'm like, I know, right? Same convo I've had every day for the past 5 years. I was in an Uber the other day and my driver... Oh, so we were going to Gas Digital Studios, which is a podcast network here, but the studio isn't on maps. You can't type it into maps.
Right.
Probably for safety purposes, just like you can't type in Maddie's house. So I always type in the restaurant next door, which is a Thai place. Mm-hmm. So I typed in the Thai place. So I get in the car. He's like, going to get Thai food? I'm like, yeah. Love Pad see you. And he's like, love Thai food. I love the food. I am from Nepal. So it's similar to Thai, but a little bit different. We have dumplings. They're called momo. Then he starts going off on Nepal. My only small talk, I go, you ever climb Everest? He laughs in my face. He goes, oh, for what? For what? For what? The risk of doing it is so high. And the cost, $100,000, $200,000. For what? For what? To get to the top where you can get hurt and they will only come get you if you have the money. So you will go to the top of Everest and you will not be rescued if you're hurt and you don't have the money. So I ask you, for what? I'm like, I know. Fucking stupid ass question. For now, you can get a helicopter, go to base camp and come back all within 3 hours. Much better than taking the whole thing to the top. You guys know about base camp at Everest?
Yeah.
It's where you get, I didn't know about this until, it's where you can stop and then you hang out there and then you go to the top, the others so you can acclimate to. Did you know this?
Yeah. Well, they need like a place where they can have their essentials tidied up before.
I didn't know any of this. So yeah, I made a fucking big ass mistake by saying that. But then he started bragging to me about his kids. My son, he just got his SAT scores back. You know what he got? I'm like, what, 1,600? Because you're fucking Southeast Asian, probably. 1,520. Great. I got a 1,300. What do you want? Hey! No, I'm jealous of your son. But my other kid, menace. He is 12 years old And he, I think, is very, very manipulative. When we go to the doctors, he does all of the talking. He will come and he will say to someone, I love your shirt. Where did you get it? I need to have it now. He is a master, very chatty, very manipulative. I was like, he should be CEO. No. He will not. He would probably, screw around and maybe find something creative. I said, maybe a comedian. Oh, that would be. That would be. So don't ask someone from Nepal if they've ever climbed Everest. Because I think climbing Everest is a pretty Caucasian activity. Yeah. Uber drivers they will chat my ear off.
I feel like it depends on where you're going to. If it's just within the city, no talking.
But like if I go from Queens to like the bottom of Manhattan, they're like, when I bought my house in 2001, it was $220,000. No. No, if I were to sell it, it would be $4 million. But I won't because my family knows that they need it, and my son and my other children, they know that it will be in the family. And I think for me, it's better to have a house than to sell it for money. For what? Again, for what? For what? So I can go to Pennsylvania and where you don't get the kind of experience and services that you have in the city. So we will be keeping our house, but it is insane. Like, if I wanted to move to Brooklyn or Manhattan, I could not do it. I couldn't do it. When I moved here 20 years ago, New York City was accessible. It was a melting pot of all sorts of different cultures, and now it's just businessmen or Asians. They always turn racist at some point. I know I'm being racist by doing the voice, but they always. If you drive long enough with an Uber driver or talk long enough to an old person who's lived in New York City for a long time, they'll bring up the Asians. They'll bring up the Asian. Even if they are Asian, they'll bring up the Asians. Yeah. And the Asians.
I feel like they also, like, a lot of them have, like, conservative politics, which I'm, like, surprised.
Yeah, they do. Right. Biden and Kamala, they are not. Even Obama. When we were in Obama, I lost all of my money to taxes. And then Donald Trump came to, and actually he cared. He cared about contractors, freelancers, small business owners. Biden came in and turned it all around. And so now I am part of the Green Party because I can choose either of them because, Trump, for what it is worth, he did give us a lot of money during, COVID and when none of us could work. But now it is a crapshoot. Back where I'm from, we have, how you say, fascist for a leader, but at least he get things done, right? So we all share our resources. Yeah. None of us have money, but at least we all share. No, I'm just saying nothing because the accent is so fun to do. And Ryan, you're looking at me like I'm going to get canceled.
No.
No. Well, something I wanted to talk about today is our first segment that we're going to get into, and it's called Anatomy, which we've played before with, our friend Kyle Kinane and a couple others.
Oh,
what are you looking at?
I have.
Yeah, go grab the poster.
Okay, sorry.
Grab the anatomy poster and the brain thing. You guys know I have been going through vocal issues since October, okay? And I know it's probably annoying to talk about, but I had a revelation last week. I have a vocal coach, and she tells me a couple weeks ago, and I've been talking about, night eating and how that was causing my vocal loss. And then last week, I got hoarse again. I did a show on Thursday, and you know what I did? Before this show, the day before, us three, went to Cafe Mogador.
Yeah, sure.
You and I ate a bunch of little snacks. Yeah, and then Thursday, I woke up hoarse.
Yeah.
And then Thursday, I had a big steak dinner before a show in Jersey. And during the show, my voice turned into this. And then me and my friend Allie on the way home had snacks. And then I woke up Friday and had to cancel shows on Saturday because of my voice. Yeah. And now this had me parsing things apart and saying, what the is going on here? I did go to an ENT in the fall, and he mentioned something called silent reflux, okay? Are you guys familiar with acid reflux?
Yes.
Okay, have you ever experienced?
Yes.
Yes, Ryan, you have acid reflux?
Yes, GERD.
Yeah, you have GERD, okay. And I know we talked about GERD with Kyle Kinane. Yes. Silent reflux is related to acid reflux and GERD. Similar reasons why they happen, but silent reflux is different because it's asymptomatic until you get hoarseness. So my theory is that since the fall, I have been displaying my silent reflux through my hoarseness, but I've probably been having it for a few years now. Mm-hmm. GERD and acid reflux are both related to your stomach and how it holds the acid in your stomach. And there is a funny thing in your esophagus called the esophageal sphincter.
Your other hand.
There's another sphincter. Oh. There's another sphincter. Now, after this show on Thursday, I got obsessed because I know I've been telling you guys I haven't been eating at night. When I tell you I haven't been eating at night, what I mean is I haven't, but I have dipped a little bit. So I start going into total silent reflux research. And what I find is a Reddit post by a man who is only 27 years old. And he says he's been having hoarse voice for months and realized that probably the cause of it was a Pret-a-Manger membership where he was going in every day and having about 4 flat white coffees because Pret-a-Manger has a monthly coffee membership where you get unlimited coffees. So he was saying, I drink a fuck ton of coffee and when I go out and socialize, I also vape. Now, I'm not a vape hater, you know what I mean? You know, I've been on and off the vape, but that got me thinking, oh my God, it's not just the night eating, it's the waking up and drinking coffee on an empty stomach. It's the combo of that. It's working out with coffee in your stomach. And the esophageal sphincter goes, where the fuck? When do I close and when do I shut? And I've been doing this coffee thing for years. Yeah. So now I'm on the Reddit till 4 a.m. parsing apart stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Do you have questions yet?
Are you going to do mushroom coffee?
No, I'm not getting out coffee.
Okay. Or so you're just going to eat with your coffee. Is that okay?
I'm going, Does
coffee have to go out entirely?
No, this is where the realization comes in. Mm-hmm. People had told me about silent reflux, but it wasn't until I kind of looked into the science of it that I was like, oh, because you know how I was like, oh, I have to eat healthier. What does that mean? Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
Vague.
Because if I say I'm eating healthier, that means I will go and I'll eat queso and say I'm getting calcium from it. That means that I will add like cheese and bread to a salad and say it's veggies, fats, and carbs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's when I say, oh, during the day, I'm eating less calories because I'm on a cut. And then at night, if I overeat, I'm fueling my muscles. Like I tell myself different stuff.
Yeah.
So when I have a health-based lens for eating and lifestyle, it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
I'll lie down all day because I'm like, I need the rest.
Yeah.
Like I justify all of my behavior. Same. But if now I know you need to eat a low acid diet for health purposes.
That's what Tom Brady does.
Then, exactly.
Yeah.
Then I can kind of go in and start picking apart this hoarseness from a science and health-based, science-based, bodily-based lens rather than I'm trying to eat healthy.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't work for me.
That doesn't work for me.
It's too vague.
Yes.
There's too much info coming in.
Yeah.
Protein, carbs, legumes,
too much
plant-based,
pressure.
meat-based, Karen Feehan, Butcher Box. Like I don't know. It's too much. I've gone years of disordered eating. All I want is for my voice to go back to normal because now I watch old Wild and Out clips where I'm like, if you walk 10 steps, I don't think, like I'm up here. Wow. And now my voice is down here. And so when I canceled shows on Saturday, I was like, this can't happen anymore. This can't happen. So I took a deep freaking dive. I was in doubt that it was silent acid reflux. And now I'm like, I fucked myself. Okay? And I need to learn more about how the body works because I am not in the know. And I realized that I'm not in the know when I froze my eggs in December and she was talking to me about the female reproductive system and I had to pretend I knew what she was talking about.
Yeah. I have no idea.
She was like, so you have your follicles, obviously. I was like,
follicles.
Yeah, and she was like, and you get one egg drops every month. I was like, yeah, I know. I didn't know there was follicles. I didn't know what follicles were. I don't know how hormones work. I don't know how this is. So this is all to say that this has inspired my new segment, which is about the human body, which every week I will be recapping a chapter recapping from this book called The Body by Bill Bryson. Bill Bryson also wrote a book called A History of Everything, which I will be reading next. This one's about the body.
What are going to be the foods that are best to reduce your acids?
Now, Now listen to this. Now listen to this.
All milk diet.
Now listen to this.
Mommy.
Now listen to this. The scientific term for what I have is laryngopharyngeal reflex, LPR. For the sake of today's episode, I will be calling it silent reflux, okay? It's everything with acid reflux, but I don't get heartburn. I don't get chest pains. I just get hoarse throat, okay? When people eat, food travels down the esophagus into the stomach, where the gastrointestinal system begins to digest it, okay? The esophagus has a sphincter where it connects to the stomach that closes to prevent stomach contents from going up to the esophagus. If your sphincter does not close properly, acidic stomach contents can flow back into the esophagus, up to the throat, and into the larynx. Risk factors include alcohol, which I stopped 3 months ago, so that's why I'm saying what else is going on. Tobacco use. Have I stopped that? No, but I've slowed down. Being overweight. Couldn't be me. That's also why I've had such a hard time diagnosing because I'm not fat. What's wrong with me? Clothing that is tight around the abdomen. Couldn't be me. Excessive caffeine intake. Could be me. Could be me. Every afternoon, I do a cold brew this fucking tall. Bubbly drinks. Could be me. Could be me. Do you guys know how much seltzer and Diet Coke I drink? My sphincter is probably like broken from all the fucking pushing coming out through it.
So what are you going to get if you go to like a bar?
Wait.
Okay, sorry.
Caroline, you guys are jumping the gun. I have a whole thing here. Bubbly drinks. And the last one, excessive overeating and lying down after you eat.
Because the
ding,
food doesn't...
fucking ding. Ding fucking ding. So not only is it not eating before bed, it's having a meal and not laying down. You fat fuck. It's basically, I'm a fat fuck. I'm a fat fuck.
Your brain
who
is a
drinks
fat
too much
fuck.
bubbly drinks. I load my stomach with coffee, Doritos, Chex Mix, Takis, soda water, Diet Coke, and I lay down. No wonder my throat is on fire and my tongue has fucking spores on it because it's all coming up. Look at my tongue now.
Nice and clean.
Nice and pink.
Yeah.
When I wake up, it's like gross in the back and I think it's from the acid.
Yeah.
And I brush and brush and brush. Okay?
Okay.
And I know people have been telling me this, but the number of times I've laid in a hotel bed with snacks surrounding me, feeding myself like I'm a Roman emperor, but it's not grapes, it's Skittles. Which brings us to perhaps some suggestion low acid recipes that we can enjoy this summer. Tomato salad out.
Aww.
You know what you could have though? A nice bean salad. Why don't you mix some corn, a cowboy caviar, black beans. A bean salad is a great dish for a barbecue. And you can avoid onion by adding cilantro. You could add oil and vinegar. You could add...
vinegar.
Is vinegar bad?
It's acidic.
I think it's okay. I know, but I looked it up. It's okay.
Vinegar is really good for you.
Vinegar's, because people suggest apple cider vinegar. But I will be taking it in small amounts because I do overdo it with vinegar.
You want to hear something
so good.
nasty?
I love vinegar. When I get oysters, like, the best part is the vinegar.
Yeah, it is.
Like, oysters, okay. Vinegar, the like mignonette vinegar. Is that what it's called? Little shallots.
Oh, that's really good. That's really good.
My pussy and lick it off. What were you going to say? What's gross?
But it's probably good for you is I know somebody is a family friend and she joined the Peace Corps and is in Mongolia.
Hilarious.
And the national drink there is fermented horse milk.
Oh.
But I feel
that's
like...
That's interesting.
I bet it's like...
Fermented stuff too is fire.
Yeah.
Kimchi yogurt. Kefir, cottage cheese. And it, like pickled stuff.
Yeah.
I love pickles.
Me too. Me too. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything fermented. Basically, like, name a food and I'll say yes or no. Let's do that. Name a food, yes or no.
Potato.
Yes. Especially yes.
Like even a white potato?
Yeah. I would like to let everyone know white potatoes are not bad for you.
No, they are.
I need everyone. I get into a fight with every boyfriend I've ever had. Oh, you can't do white potato. Yes, you can.
Yeah, the skin is
It's just sweet potatoes are so good for you.
Yeah.
Sweet potatoes. Oh, good for you. And I'm so hungry that I'm at the point where sweet potatoes are like, wow, it's a little too sweet for me. Yeah,
It's like
little
candy.
salt and pepper butter. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck me in the butt.
Yes.
Butter or cinnamon. I like a big salad with like romaine, arugula, sweet potato. Name another food.
Rice.
Yes, white and brown, but brown grains are preferred. Right, barley, farro.
Farro's good.
Quinoa, any grain. Whole grains are good. Beans are good.
What about beets?
Beets good. Any vegetable
Really?
good. Yeah.
They're not acidic?
No, but I don't like beets, so I won't be eating them. Yeah, fuck beets. I'd rather eat the ground. I don't like
Really?
beets.
They're
Miss
so
me with that.
good.
No, they're not, Caroline.
What about
You're
nightshades?
I don't know what that is.
Like eggplant?
Yes.
I think that our
I even my
nightshades.
sunglass. Eggplant.
Yeah.
Any vegetable's good. Any vegetable's good. It's just tomatoes are super acidic.
I remember when I
But there are
I had this
there
problem.
are
They
some
gave me a
tomatoes
list.
I think that are lower acid.
Yeah, tomatoes are a bad
Oh,
one.
and caffeine. But I'm sticking with coffee. I'm just doing. I used to do the venti Starbucks like this tall. Now I'm just gonna do this after breakfast, and just
Yeah.
because I can't. I tried. Caroline and I went to her house and we swam in the pool, and I tried to do no coffee that morning. And 1 hour in, I was like, "Can you make a pot?"
Yeah. She's
drowning.
I can't do this.
Yeah.
This is not. This is not worth it.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe the effects will just be slower, more gradual. And if I stay chugging water, I just can't. And people on the Reddit were like, I kept coffee, I just minimized it
Yeah.
and made sure not to drink it on an empty stomach.
Yeah, maybe
I
don't make
can't.
it super strong.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, they said dark roast are less acidic, which is interesting.
Right.
So, cold brew is also really, really, really less acidic as well.
Really?
Yeah, specifically cold brew. So I'm
didn't
learning
know
a lot. It's
Yeah.
very interesting.
It's kind of fun to
It's
know.
very, and it's kind of like when I wake up, I'm like, me.
Yeah. There's also
In the shower, I'm like, ooh. I'm like hitting notes
Yeah.
that I couldn't before. I know I keep harping on it, but it's been a very, very frustrating process. I miss my old voice.
Yeah.
I watch my old stand-up. I'm like, hi.
Yeah.
And then people comment on my stuff. What's wrong with their voice? And then someone will comment back, too much Coke. Fuck you! Fuck you! It's seltzer water. So all of this has inspired me to do some research into the body.
Yes.
So I bought this book, and today we're going to talk about the human brain. For reference, if you don't know what a human brain is, this is what it is. It's the organ that's inside your head. So we'll start there.
Oh.
It's inside your head. It's behind. So you can kind of feel it's like in there, right?
Okay.
It's in there.
Okay.
Now you'll know the brain. The brain looks like this. Audio shout out. If you're not looking, it's a big jelly mass.
Gelatinous.
You might not know this. This sort of design that your brain has. All of our designs are unique, just like the fingerprint.
Really?
Each have a unique brain design. Yeah. The touch of the brain is like Jell-O. It's like Jell-O. It's 80% water. Yep. And it's really, really just like a little jelly. Jelly. It's never seen the light of day. It's never seen anything, but it knows everything.
I poked
Isn't
mine
that
with
crazy?
I poked mine with a Q-tip. Sorry.
How far in did you go?
Real deep.
No, you
Oh
didn't.
my God.
You did?
No, not really.
Okay. Great. The whole brain is called the cerebrum. That's what the ball is called. And it's broken up into two hemispheres, as we know. Interestingly enough, each hemisphere conducts the opposite side of the body. Did you guys know that?
I did know that
God damn it.
we see upside down, and then our brain codes it to be right side up, which I always thought was cool.
Are you left or right brained?
Neither. I have no brain. I don't know what I am because I don't know. I think I'm pretty creative, but then
I think
how would I
have
know?
a
Can we
dead
take a
spot
quiz?
in my brain.
Can we take a quiz?
Okay.
Yes.
Something interesting about the brain is that it takes only 2% of our body weight, but uses 20% of our energy.
Wow.
And if you want to know why babies sleep a lot, it's because it takes up 65% of a baby's energy.
Oh my God.
That's why they have to sleep all the time.
Wow.
Because it's their whole body. Something else interesting that I notice about the brain is that the most efficient ones are the ones that can solve a task quickly and then go into standby mode. A hardworking brain isn't really fruitful. It's the efficient working brain that you want to.
What is standby mode?
Just kind of like beep-a-doo, like float, like I'm reading a book and I'm reading, but I'm not like, I'm reading.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Like when people are like, I'm so hardworking, I'm all day, blah, blah. The
You're not
best
making a
brains are the
decision.
ones that are like, oh, look, I did that. You do your tasks with just free flow and you're doing them like more
effortlessly.
Like, yeah.
Interesting.
Rather than.
Yeah. That's what I do on like one task and then I'm burnt out for the rest of the day.
And then we got the lobes. Okay. We got the frontal, parietal, occipital, occipital, and temporal, and they each have different functions. Ryan,
I read that the temporal is actually fried in a light batter.
I read that about the temporal too. It's a temporal shrimp. Now, beneath the cerebrum is where the nape of the neck is called the cerebellum. Latin for little brain. That's where more than half of the brain's neurons are. Scattered throughout the brain, rather like nuts in a fruitcake, are many smaller structures, including the hypothalamus, the amygdala, the hippocampus, tenens phalon, septum pellucidum, habenular commissure, entorhinal cortex, and a dozen or so others, which are collectively known as the limbic system, in Latin meaning peripheral. You can go your whole life not even knowing about the limbic system, but it'll only spike. For example, if you have Parkinson's, one of your limbic systems will start because they're related to physical functions
that they do automatically.
Yeah,
like we don't have to think about.
You won't know until you start losing function, and it's like, oh shit, this part of your limbic system is fucked up. The most powerful component of the limbic system is a powerhouse called the hypothalamus. Which is a bundle of neural cells. It's called the inner chamber. Okay, it's about the size of a peanut and weighs 1/10 of an ounce, and it controls the chemistry of the body, which includes sexual function, hunger and thirst, blood sugar and salts, and decides when you need to sleep. Okay. And the hippocampus is central to the laying down of memories.
Right? Yeah.
Which, what do you guys know about memories? Because there's actually not a lot of research done.
I just know that crosswords can help restore memory.
Okay.
I remember I was smoking too much weed and my therapist was like, try a crossword.
Something really weird about the brain to me is the whole thing where it's like, you're only perceiving this as purple. I'm like, no, it's purple. I hate that.
We all see the same thing. And
I'm like, no, it's purple.
Yeah.
No, that's what your brain is telling you. It's purple! Okay, so this paragraph freaked me out. I'm going to read you a paragraph.
Yeah.
For each visual input, it takes a tiny but perceptible amount of time, about 200 milliseconds, 1/5 of a second, for the information to travel along the optic nerves and into the brain to be processed and interpreted. That means we spend our whole lives living in a world that doesn't exist yet because we see things 1/5 of a second ahead of time.
Oh, ahead of time.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
Because your brain helps you perceive things before they're happening. I don't know if that makes sense. Because it's coming in, and to help us deal better with this fractional lag, the brain continuously forecasts what the world will look like 1/5 of a second from now, and that's what it gives us as the present.
Wow.
Whoa.
Isn't that weird?
That is
I don't like
weird.
that. See, this is why this chapter freaked me out, okay?
How do they know? I guess you can do scans and see how the brain reacts to certain stimuli.
It does this because it's trying to help you.
Yeah.
It's like this visual where, like, look, there is no triangle, but your brain says there's a triangle.
Yep.
Now, something you guys might know now is that if you damage your brain, your personality might change.
Yes.
But we didn't know that until 1848.
Oh,
Was
God.
this Phineas Gage?
Like, why do I do this? How do you know all this?
I don't know.
Am I?
They taught it. This is a very famous case. He was a railroad worker.
Yeah,
and I believe dynamite launched a metal rod.
A metal rod
into his brain.
It went this way into his brain.
Crazy.
Stayed alive.
Yeah.
But they noted after that Gage was a little off, and that was the first proof that physical damage to the brain could transform personality. Now we have a lot of proof through football players, comedians.
Sam Kinison, yes? Sorry?
I was just talking comedians in general.
He got in a car accident and then he was quite different after.
Right. And now this kind of moved us into experimenting with the origination of the lobotomy, which was definitely abused as a practice when it first came about. So there was a Swiss physician named Gottlieb Burckhardt who successfully removed 18 grams of brain from a disturbed woman, turning her from a dangerous and excited, demented person to a quiet, demented one. This guy got a Nobel Prize for starting it, but there was a doctor named Walter Jackson Freeman who over a period of 40 years traveled the country performing lobotomies on anyone who was brought before him. On one tour, he lobotomized 225 people in 12 days. Some of his patients were as young as 4 years old.
Wow.
He operated on people with phobias, on drunks picked up off the street, people convicted of homosexual acts, anyone with almost any kind of perceived mental or social aberration. His methods were so swift and brutal that it made other doctors recoil. He inserted a standard household ice prick into the brain through the eye socket, tapping it through the skull bone with a hammer, and wriggled it vigorously to sever neural connections. Here is his breezy description of the procedure in a letter to his son. Oh. You want me to read the letter?
Yeah.
I have been knocking them out with a shock. And while they are under the anesthetic thrusting, an ice pick up between the eyeball and the eyelid through the roof of the orbit, actually into the frontal lobe of the brain and making the lateral cut by swinging the thing from side to side. I've done 2 patients on both sides and another one side without running into any complications except a very black eye in the case. There may be trouble later on it, but it seemed fairly easy, although definitely a disagreeable thing to watch. A New York University student fainted while watching a Freeman operation, but it was quick. Some patients could go home immediately. He dazzled people with his casual approach. He operated without gloves or surgical mask. The method caused no scarring, and occasionally the ice pick would break off and get stuck in the skull.
I'm going to have to charge you extra for that.
What's most remarkable is that this man was not a surgical man. He was a psychiatrist. Just running around. Christ. And one of his most notable cases was the notorious failure of Rosemary Kennedy, sister of JFK. In 1941, she was 23 years old. She was attractive, vivacious, headstrong, but with a tendency for mood swings.
Head not strong enough.
God.
She also had some learning difficulties. Her father, exasperated by her willfulness, had her lobotomized by Freeman without consulting his wife.
Wow.
The lobotomy essentially destroyed Rosemary. She spent the next 64 years in care homes, incontinent, unable to speak, and bereft of personality. Her loving mother did not visit her for 20 years. As it became evident that Freeman and others like him were leaving trails of human wreckage behind him, the procedure fell out of fashion. He continued to perform lobotomies until 1967.
Wow.
Holy shit, that's so disturbing.
The patients were described later on as obedient, lifeless shells.
Oh my God.
Makes you think. What's most interesting about the brain is we really know nothing. We really, compared to the skin, we know everything. The brain, not a lot to know.
Yeah.
And listen to this. I don't want to get too, freaking vulnerable, but my grandpa, I never met him.
Yeah.
He, killed himself. Trigger warning. After the fact. It was, the 80s. He had such intense depression.
Yes.
And they didn't know what to do with him. He would go in and be like, I don't want to live. And they would shock his fucking brains out.
Oh my God.
And then he would go home and just sit on the couch and stare into space. They would shock, and this was in the 80s. They shocked his fucking brains out.
Electroshock?
Yeah.
Therapy?
And he would come home and just sit. And he would tell my mom, I don't want to be here anymore. And my mom and no one in the 80s wanted to talk about mental health, especially not an Irish Catholic farm family with 12 kids who don't know how to talk to each other about emotions.
Yeah.
So my mom and dad were like the only people kind of taking care of my grandpa because they were the only ones who weren't like, I'm scared.
Yeah.
My mom was like, my parents are lucid and they're like, he has mental health issues. Let's take care of him.
Yeah.
And my mom would sit next to him and he would be like, I'm hearing voices. And they thought he was bipolar, but no one knew what to do with him. No one knew what to do with him. And there was theories that he kind of went crazy because he was a dairy farmer and the pesticides got into his brain. It could have been that, but maybe it was just, dairy farming is actually the number one suicide rate.
Farming
Job. Yeah, because
I thought it was dentist.
Really?
Well, I don't know if this is the number one. I don't know why I said that, but dairy farming, there was an article in the Times like a few years ago where it was like skyrocketing because no one's buying milk and your job is tied, your income is tied to government like subsidies. What's it called? Like price point, like they control the price of milk. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't get to say, I'm going to charge $6 a gallon.
Right.
You send the milk and they charge it.
Right.
So your income for the year could be anywhere between $15,000 to $40,000.
Oh my God.
And you still have to milk the cows because you have 100 cows.
Oh my God.
So it might have been, I fucking hate this job. It might have been, there, you know, he had 12 kids and then they were all grown and the house was empty.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just that and everyone put it onto pesticides. We don't
Maybe it was
know.
both.
And maybe we would know now because there's so much stuff with CTE and gray matter and brain scans. But in the 80s, dude, they still had hospitals where people smoked ciggies.
Yeah.
And you were rolled in on a freaking like old timey, like abandoned hospitals. You see them. It's like,
yeah, so rickety.
Yeah, so rickety.
Yeah.
All the answers back then are like, we'll electrocute you or stick needles in your brain.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, like
so
when women had
unscientific.
orgasms, they were like, hysteria.
Lobotomizer.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
So yeah, the brain stuff really freaks me out. And, you know, with that in the family, I get freaked out about my own mental health. And then my other grandpa died of Alzheimer's. So I'm fucked.
Damn.
No.
I'm either going to kill myself or I won't remember who I am. I'm either going to kill myself or I won't know who I am to kill myself. I'm like, wait, what am I doing?
What is this?
I'm like, where am I? Oh, what do you think, Caroline? Should we take a little look at what happened on this day?
Sure.
What's the day? July
3rd.
Happy Independence Day, everybody! What's your favorite thing about America? Quick.
I like how big the country is. All the different cities.
Yeah, I like how vast it is, and I like going to a small town and being like, ooh, old America. Like how like little towns. And I like the some houses. I like nice classical houses. American architecture is pretty fun.
Yeah. I like the movies.
I like going to the movies.
Yeah, we got good entertainment.
And, you know, I like burgers, fries, hot dogs.
We have the best plumbing in the world.
Do we?
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
things like that, like plumbing, Wi-Fi, like shit that you just is like everywhere. We're a little bit more advanced.
It's all the shit that keeps you on a couch.
Yes.
It's all the shit that keeps you on a couch.
Yeah. We
You know, we got the best Wi-Fi. You can
I
sit, you can
know.
watch your thing. We
know.
got the best burgers. Gonna
I
help you
know,
shit
we
them
have
out in the best toilet.
Dude, like everyone I know has a TV this big.
Yes.
So people in Europe probably like have little tiny like rabbit ear TVs.
Yeah.
Soviet Union.
Yeah.
My TikTok lately has been like Soviet core.
Oh, me too.
It's like I need
is
to
that?
smoke. Like the caption will be like I need to smoke a ciggy here. And it's
Yeah.
like old. It's
like their
communist.
furniture.
Down. Like how did I end up here?
It's interesting. I just like to
I know.
see what's going on.
Creepy little doily.
Yeah. They got their tapestries hanging on the wall in the back.
And they're like a little painting portrait of a czar.
Yes. Or like the iconography,
Yeah.
the religious
4
iconography.
books.
Yeah.
Wood, like dark wooden
Yeah.
kitchen tables.
Yes.
Lantern light.
Yeah,
like-
gas lamps.
What happened on this day? Let's get a little history going. Maybe we can make a song about it.
Okay.
I'm feeling good, you guys.
Back to the Future was released in American theaters in 1985.
Cool. 1985, Springsteen, Madonna, way before Nirvana. Back to the Future. We're going to see the movies. The guy is going, he's gonna hook up with his mom, because that's what can happen in 1980. Woo-hoo-hoo. Well, I have a theory. You know how everyone's dressing Y2K? I was thinking about this the other night. In the 90s, everyone was like romanticizing hippies, and that was 20 years before.
Yes.
So I think it's like
20-year flip.
It's like, yeah,
Yes.
I guess that's not a good theory.
No, but I feel like
People are like, I can't believe like people are dressing Y2K. When you look back, growing up, imagine how your mom felt when we were like, I want to wear a hippie skirt. Your mom's like, fuck you! I was protesting Vietnam.
yeah.
Also, it was like They smelled like shit.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Real hippies? Bruh. You ever meet a homeless man? Cover that in patchouli oil. I'd actually rather take the bad odor rather than the good odor covering the bad.
Yeah, just too
then
much.
it's like,
Yeah. It's
ew.
confusing, and you're like, no.
I talked to a hot girl once, and she had perfume on, but her breath smelled bad. Very weird. A lot of dissonance. You have bad hygiene.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like some European nations are, not all, but I feel like, no offense to French people, but sometimes they're a little
That's
smelly.
another pro-America thing.
Yeah.
This is the pro-America, but
We take
also
so many
anti. This is
showers.
an America episode.
Yeah.
You know AOC's The Crew? Is that what they're called?
Yes.
AOC and Friends?
Yeah,
AOC. What are the other people in it?
The Squad.
The Squad.
It's Ilan Omar.
Lamar Odom.
Presley and
One of
Twang.
the, what's about Jamar Bowman or something, just lost his seat in New York State.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the Squad is crumbling. Yeah. Some of the band members are leaving.
Yeah, they're
AOC's going solo.
Yes.
Yeah! I'm Puerto Rican. Okay. I don't know if she is. I think she's Colombian. I don't know. She's pretty. We should get her on the podcast.
Oh my God. Yeah. She's
She has a nice face.
Puerto Rican. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, she's
I actually
pretty.
saw her. I met her once. Not really. I said hi to her once before she won.
Really?
I had heard buzzes of like new, you know, like the New York Times newsletter would be like, and more in politics, a young 27-year-old taking the reins in Queens, New York. I'm like, who's this bitch? And she's pretty, so obviously press galore.
Yeah.
And I was in Astoria going to the comedy venue QED for a show, and she was campaigning
Wow.
near the train and handing out pamphlets.
No way.
Yeah. And one of her campaign person gave me her this. I was like, awesome. I will definitely have heard of her. And then she was right there and she was like, hey. I was like, she looks just like she does, obviously. She doesn't seem like someone who would have changes. She's lucky. She looks the same in every video, photo, and in person. People like that are amazing to me. I look different in every photo and video.
Every angle.
That's why I think like I never really got scoped up for acting because like I
Right.
look different in every.
You show up, you got a beard. What?
I genuinely believe that some people like they're like, yeah, she'll look the same every time.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like inconsistent bloat face or literally like, is she trans? Because it's so like sharp, you know what I mean? And it's different every day and I have no control over it. I had pho last night. I woke up, which
I don't do
obviously
that.
that's intuitive, but like some people won't.
I don't know how.
And also, like, my face just looks different some days. I don't know how to explain it. We pull up the podcast. Even Caroline will be like, you look good in this one. I'm like, I know.
I look like 5 different people at
Me
once.
too.
I feel like.
Me too.
I have like an asymmetrical
Me
face,
too.
probably.
I think I'm asymmetrical. Well, I know I'm asymmetrical.
Yeah.
You ever, because my Instagram, when I take a photo of myself, it looks great. But then when you do the actual camera and it flips, you're like, oh
But
my
I think
God,
that flipping.
I'm a cubist painting. I am a. And underneath, no, you will never, no.
Yeah.
And the girls will like take photos like
Yeah.
best day in the city. No, because it's like, look at, my God. If I shoot a special, it'll be like only like
Front facing.
face on. Dude, I'm like, the camera comes here. I'm like, it's like Ariana Grande. She'll only show this side.
Really?
Yeah. It's her birthday today.
Happy
On this day. Well,
On
no,
this
that's
day.
the wrong day. What's another on this day?
Another one
I'm having a great
is
time.
Me too.
American singer and songwriter Jim Morrison died at the age of 27 in Paris in 1971.
Wow.
Break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side. Break on through to the other side. Fun fact, when I was a senior in high school or between senior and college, I was like, I'm a new person. I was like, no more school. All I did was work at the local pizzeria. So I was just like a pizzeria slut, fucking like kids who were older than me, going to like bonfire parties. And I tried so hard to get into Siggy's, but it didn't stick. Like halfway through, I'd be like, to throw it up. But I would drive in my Toyota Corolla that only had manual windows and locks that my mom gave me. She got her Infinity, as we all know, big shoe car. And then I got my little Toyota Corolla. And I would drive to work and smoke ciggies and play, what's the one Doors song that's long and awesome? I can't remember it right now because I'm high.
Not LA. Wait.
LA Woman.
Is it that?
It was LA Woman.
It's a good one.
How does that go again?
LA
And it's
woman.
a big build.
Yeah.
It's a build.
Starts out with the motor in the beginning.
Yeah. And then it's... Oh, yeah. And then he's like... And I'd be smoking. I'd be like, I'm going to college. And then I'd get to Pizza Inn and they like tell me what to do. And I'd be like, no problem, because I'm going to college. You know, like post senior year.
Best feeling
you
in the
think
world.
you're going to be like a new person. Got there, still had the same exact kinds of friends I did in high school. It's so funny. You get to college, you think you're going to be like, I'll be like a frat sorority girl. No, the freaks find you and you find them in a good way.
Yeah.
You know, but before college, I was like, I'm going to be a cool slut, like alcoholic. I was two of those things.
The slut and an alcoholic.
Yeah. I feel bad for Jim Morrison.
I
know you like him a lot, Caroline. Can you give him some facts about it?
You're
Yeah,
big
she had
fan?
a crush on him in high school.
I had a crush on a dead guy.
Yeah.
Me and like, it was weird because I'm like, why is he dead? He's so hot.
Fuck, I would have fucked him so hard.
Yeah. I was like 13.
Yeah.
And I had
It's
him
like
on my journal.
when you get obsessed with like the Harry Potter people.
Yeah.
I got obsessed with like any child actor I got obsessed with
Yeah.
when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And now. No, I'm kidding. But keep going.
Yeah.
Did you
and
like the
then
music? Or?
I like the music. I like the keyboard.
And did you write a report about him? Is that why you had a crush on him, or you're just
I was like getting into like classic rock because I was trying to be cool.
so cool? Well, School of Rock came out,
Yeah.
and after School of Rock came out, I was like, I need to be like,
I'm like, I
Mom,
need
give me a plaid skirt
Yeah.
and a guitar.
Yeah. Right now.
Practice for one day.
Yeah.
Fuck this.
Yeah. That was me. Yeah.
I watched Rocket Power so much when I was younger.
Shoobies!
Shoobies. In second grade, I asked for a skateboard for my birthday.
Right.
Practiced once.
Still in the rapping?
Practiced once, and I was like, yay. No, I didn't say that, but I was like, too hard.
Yeah. It is really
I
hard.
wanted to, yeah.
I have no balance.
Yeah, me neither.
It's really
And
hard.
I also think the skateboard,
People who can do
like,
that.
we had to go to a specific place to skate because you can't do it on the street. It's too
bumpy.
rocky.
Yeah.
There's like one patch we'd be like, woo.
Yeah. Watch out, watch out.
You know what I fuck with though? Sledding. Yeah.
Which is fun.
I love that. That's a low stakes one.
Yeah. But then climbing back up the hill, that I remember that. I'm like, ugh.
And you're like, I'm done. And your son's like, no, let's do one more. And you're like, okay. Tubing scared me because I thought I was going to pop.
Yeah.
Do you guys like river tubing? Because Allie just told me we should go to the Dell Water Gap and go tubing. But I don't understand how tubing works because what happens when you get off at the end?
They pick you up, no?
Who picks you up?
You get somebody who dropped out the tube.
Oh, you go through a company or something?
I would bet, yeah.
Do you
Oh,
attach,
okay.
like when you attach to a boat?
You go with like a guide is what you're saying.
I've been tubing like where you attach to a back of a boat and you're on. And
tubing when it's on a speedboat. Yeah.
I almost.
That's the most
with the
fun.
tube.
That is such instant fun.
Dude, I've done that shit and I fuck you American dads who think you're so funny, showing off for your daughter's friends,
God, I can't.
whipping the boat around for girls who it's their first time tubing. That was the last time I ever did it. I went in high school. My friend had
flying.
dude, and the dad was like, yeah. I'm like, she flew off. I'm like, I bloody nose.
Rolling across
One of
the-
I
My
got out in
bathing
my
suit fell
bikini.
down.
My
my
suit
toe.
broke. The plastic broke and it sunk in the water. I'm like, I don't have a bathing suit on.
Yeah.
And her mom had to be like, I have an extra.
Yeah.
Then I'm wearing an Ann Teller bathing suit the rest of the day with like
Tankini.
a skirt. A skirt bathing suit. Everyone else has like a big.
Yeah. I know. I remember.
My friend
that
had a
happened to me.
lake house and we went tubing and her dad whipped us the fuck around.
So hard.
And I would
Scary.
be screaming. I would be like, I don't like this and I'm not trying to scream in a funny way. Like, I don't want to do
And
this.
you do the
And they're like,
donuts?
she's loving it. I'm
And
like
the water gets
80
hard.
feet behind. And then we also went on the ones that were like a big hot dog.
Yes,
You could
and you
sit on.
fly off.
Yeah, I'm like 17. Yeah. Fly off, bikini bottoms already off. Woo! Whoa! Sunning my perineum. Fuck all dads who do that. But also dads who have speedboats are probably already freaks.
Yeah.
There's a Venn diagram of that. They're already aggressive and cheating.
Yeah.
Actually, that guy did end up cheating. Really ruined the whole family. Yeah, he was having an affair. So
on the speedboat.
Maybe I was associating the tubing is fun. It's just hitting the water is like
it hurts.
It's like concrete when it's that fast.
And the next day you're like, bent out of shape. I would never water ski.
No.
I would never water ski.
Oh my God.
I would never water ski.
I would break my legs.
I would,
break my legs.
Like they would get twisted. I'd be like, where?
And then they keep going because no one can hear me.
He's getting dragged behind a boat.
They drag you.
How's she doing back there?
My ring she's loving it. Hey, look, she's loving it. The hot wife with no body fat. Look at her. She's funny, isn't she? Grab me a beer. I was always so uncomfortable around wealthy families when I always felt like a little ogre. I always felt like a little ogre, like I'm the girl with the single mom. Me and my friend Toey were like the freaks of the group. Did I ever tell you about Toey? I've talked about her on the podcast. She listens, so shout out. I met her in 6th grade in middle school, and her name's Victoria. She would go by Tori, and we had a friend, although I suppose it's not a friend if we were making fun of her. She couldn't say her R's. And it wasn't that bad, but we just exaggerated and called her Toey. And then we started calling it in front of the girl whose name was Danielle. And she just said, Toey, Toey. She didn't even realize we were making Toey. Yeah, I was like, Toey, Toey. Yeah, it started as like more Toey. And then we'd be like, Toey, Toey, Toey. Hey, Toey. And at first, Toey was like, stop, seriously. It's because, and we'd be like, what? It's funny. She's like, no, it's not. And I don't like it. And then we just kept saying it. And then she was just Toey.
And now she still goes by Toey.
She still goes by Toey. You can, she probably follows,
Isn't
she
she
might
like
follow you on
Dr.
Instagram.
Toey?
Shout out Toey.
She in college, we went to the same college, but she was more on the track team. All called her Toey. Her professors called her Toey. People would be like, you know Toey? I'm like, bruh.
Do I know? I named her, bitch.
Bruh. And she's a doctor. Her patients call her Toey. And
that.
Yeah, it's cute.
Look at that.
It's cute. It's a nice little...
Dr. Toey.
It's funny. You have to laugh.
Podiatry.
Dr. Toey.
Dr. Toey. No one has any idea that everyone's being ableist. Her parents would like float around the house, but like not, and her grandma kind of more took care of her. So her grandma would drive us everywhere.
Nice.
And all the other girls, it was just like a rich town. I was exposed to houses I'd never been in before, like big, like Mean Girls. You know Regina George's house?
Yeah.
Like,
it's uncomfy when you walk in.
those kind of
like,
houses. And I always felt dirty, like huge, gaudy, like big pillars and columns inside the house.
Yeah.
They all had the same exact layout. Every one of my friends had the same exact layout house. Enter, big staircase. Some of them were huge. Toey's was huge.
Big window over the front door.
Huge window to the front door. To the left, formal living room. And my friend Jillian had a little painting of herself as a child over the a little Christmas over the mantle.
I had in my parents' house.
Yeah.
When we were little, we got our portrait done.
But it's weird when it's one child, and she also had a sister. So
okay. I know, it's so embarrassing.
she had a newly adopted Chinese sister, and Jillian's thing was, and then behind the living room, dining room, and then past the staircase, big kitchen,
big
kitchen, eat-in, big island, with also stools, and then living like family room. And front is usually an office.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in there, people throw in their really fancy living rooms. Oh, that's where the mantle was. Yeah. But they all mostly had the same layout. Some were like a fresh take. Oh my God, is this an open floor plan? You know? But my friend, like it was crazy. And then I had this little shack.
Well, yeah, what would happen when they go to your house?
I've barely had people over, dude.
Maddy, where are your columns?
No columns?
They would be like, Maddy, why is your yard so overgrown? I'm like, I don't know. My mom wanted me to mow the lawn, but it took 8 hours and she only paid me $20. So now we're kind of at a standstill. My mom literally let our backyard just grow. I'm like,
Rewilding. You could say it's rewilding.
right, Rewilder.
Yeah.
Her last name's
Yeah.
But I would only have Toey. My crew was like Toey, Sydney, Gina, and we were kind of ragtag as well. We were all a little ragtag.
What does that mean?
Like, we all had like there was a group of like rich people who hung out together.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they would only hang out with like the cool like poor guys.
Oh yeah, like the hot.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like the trash who lived in like a ranch.
Yeah.
Like in like the
was, like, my
60s
town,
builds
too.
part of
Yes,
the town
yes.
with like his mom.
Yeah.
Adam, when are you coming home? And he'd be like, Mom, I don't know. I'm with Emily.
And
You
they're like,
know?
all right. They
That
can do
was the
whatever they
cool
want.
group. Like rich girls and like hot, cool skater guys, but they were poor.
They were
with single
poor
moms.
and their parents like let them do whatever.
Yeah.
I always used to wonder like, oh, your parents let you do whatever you
Yeah.
want. So cool.
Yeah, like there was a girl who lived in one of those big
cool.
gaudy houses, like a castle house.
Mm-hmm.
And she lived in the neighborhood called Spalding Lake, which was where all the huge gaudy houses are. Although I looked it up, I heard it fell off.
Nice.
I looked up the Reddit. You can look up
Nice.
Spalding Lake. The houses are just like they are huge, but they're also like the way they're
Wow.
shown. Like they have
like McMansion.
yeah,
Yeah.
But more
they have the
Caroline,
driveways
your
that, like,
house is
wrap
big,
around the
but it's
front.
like how do I say like the features are big.
It's
And the Spalding Lake houses, they're like, whew,
Yeah.
but
Oversized.
it'll be like the same size as your house, but your house is just like brick.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to undermine your house. I'm like their houses are like
yeah.
they look
yeah.
like embassies.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
But they're the same like square footage as what could just be a regular big house.
Right, right.
But the Spalding Lake houses are like, this is my house.
Yeah. It's a flex.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like big.
This
Exactly.
to a
That,
T. The garage and like the
and
garage.
there was always a big garage
in the front of the
and
house,
the
which I'm
driveway
like-
was always like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why?
A lot of them were on hills with a U driveway so they could park their fucking Porsches
Yes.
outside.
This is less than $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one is $1.2 million. And
It's- I mean,
and
it's
they
Buffalo.
always have the big
Yep.
front door with a giant window over it.
Big window.
And then like, yeah, this
Big
kind of
window.
like portico thing.
You go inside vast and
This.
to go
So many of these.
so many of those, so many, and a
And
lot
then
of
that's it.
people lived in that kind of house that I
Yes.
knew.
Can we see the house you grew up in?
Yeah. Let me see. I bet I can find it. There it is. Oh my God.
Let's see.
Wait, it looks worse than I remember.
Let's see. The lawns. You can't see the house. You can see the top of the house from the lawn.
No, it doesn't. Caroline's gonna be like, oh, it's cute. But imagine everyone, like 80% of your high school lives in a McMansion,
Right.
and you thought you had a great life, and then you moved here and you saw how wealthy people were, and then your parents got divorced, and you moved with your mom to this.
Okay. It's not okay. You made
No,
it
it's
sound
not.
like
I
it was
know, but it's
awful.
compared.
Yes, I understand.
That's like a house you buy when you're first buying a
It's a
house
starter
in like
home.
Buffalo, New York. You're like,
Yes.
just bought a house.
Yes.
Can't wait to like fix it up.
Right. I mean, I feel like if someone does fix it up, it could be really
Oh
cute.
yeah. When we lived there, I think it had like more magenta shutters, which was cuter.
That's cute.
It kind of looked like.
Aw. I feel like
But you know, my mom would like start
Maddy.
like painting the inside, but then she would give up, and there was blue tape all over the inside of the house, and she didn't like the tiles in the kitchen like weren't ever fixed, so there's
Right.
missing tiles
Yeah,
everywhere.
The driveway is half asphalt, half
Look
gravel.
at the driveway.
it's
$20
kind of how
to mow the lawn, and it went back like 500 feet.
I mean, at least you
With
yeah.
a push mower, mind you. With a push mower, mind you.
Oh god.
Then she got a riding one. That's all she did.
Yeah.
I come home, she's mowing the lawn again.
Woo.
Yeah, I'm like, what'd you get a DUI or something? I was not, and the upstairs was like originally probably an attic because my
Right.
room, the closet, you
Yeah.
could see the inners of the house.
Right.
Like
Unfinished.
And I would like be afraid to go in there because I'm like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah. Were the ceilings like dormers?
Yeah, ceilings
it
are
does.
like
the
that.
dormers.
Like you'd knock and it would be like this, like hollow.
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
hollow.
Sheetrock.
Yeah.
Just like yeah.
Creepy.
Interesting.
Creepy. And so, you know, like my boyfriend at the time, Big Dick, lived in like a kind of like McMansion minus, like not brick. and kind of just middle
This is
class.
my first house.
But
Going from the
so
big
I always
ones to
felt
this
like a
one
little
is-
mud covered little freak around all those places. And like the mom, I would just stare at the parents and be like, the mom. I'm like,
Yeah. It's always weird
So
going
different.
going to other people's
I
houses
know.
for a planing.
it's so weird.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I always
Can I
felt
move in with you?
fat. I was like kind of chubby, and all my friends were.
Oh my God. I felt in
So
high school like
skinny.
I was like heavier and like I definitely hated my body so much. So much in high school. I hated how I looked. And I had friends. I remember one time my friend was like, I just weighed myself. I'm 125. And I was like 160 at the time. And I literally was like, stop.
Yeah.
Lips started quivering. Because all my friends were like super fit. And one of my friends lost a ton of weight.
Yeah.
And everyone would be like, she's so skinny. And I'd be like,
I know, it's
Like,
so hard.
yeah.
But it's hard when you're like young and
Oh my
the
God,
kids
yeah.
bully you.
Working
And you
at a-
don't
working at a
know-
pizza place.
You don't know how things work and what.
I didn't even know I was fat until people started like calling me like fat. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh no.
Wait, that's that. Well, I had that joke in my set that I
Oh yeah.
I didn't know I was fat. Yeah.
I was like,
And
in
that goes,
second
when I gained
grade,
weight in
first
college,
grade.
no one was telling me like, hey, you got fat.
Yeah.
Everyone skirts around it.
Right. Nobody tells you.
Well, the men will tell you, they just
Yeah.
won't look at you.
Right.
I lost a lot of weight in college and it was the first time ever in my life that men like flirted, approached me.
Oh my God.
I'd be standing in line for the bathroom at a bar and a guy would be like, hey, that's a nice watch. You think mine's better than yours? I'm like, no one's ever talked to me before.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like I was at a bar, like guy came up to me, you're beautiful. And so, and now the guy was like,
Wow.
you're right. It was like, I was so skinny. It
Yeah.
was so, no, it was so, I was like tiny.
Yeah.
And it was so obvious how
than you are
shallow
now.
men are. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Like probably 15 pounds less. Yeah.
My God.
In college. This was when I was like waking up at night because I
Yeah,
wasn't eating.
right.
I gained it all back literally like
Same
within like
in
a
college.
year later. I was like 200 pounds. Maybe that's why no one knew what to say. Because like, did someone swap her out? Like every time I saw my friends, I would be 10 pounds fatter. So crazy. Goes to show like don't do that to your body.
Yeah. That's
You know?
Right.
yeah.
And then it took 10 years to recover from like all of that.
Yeah.
So you put on all the weight, then you got to lose it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, all these guys, like, everyone wants to fuck. Oh, so many people. I would get so many texts, so many, and never before. And then I gained it back. No one would look at me. I obviously didn't take care of myself, but I will say that's the most men have ever gone out of their way to speak to me.
Shallow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
What do you think of that?
Men are
I forgot you're a
attractive.
All right, let's hop into a fuck that, which you guys know the name of the game. We are going to go back and forth and freaking tell each other what we fucking hate this week. I'm looking for mine. All right,
Just
fuck
one.
that. You know what I fucking hate?
What?
When you wear pants and after sitting down for a while, the waistband flips back and you're like, it's like symbol of how fucking like your stomach's like expanding on it. The jeans I had to get them off immediately. I'm like, I need to go home. My waistband is curling and it's pissing me off.
Curling. Yes.
I
Like
hate
the
that.
elastic inside
Hate
the
that.
band folds.
Oh, I hate
and you
when
have
the
to-
elastic inside the band folds.
and you have to like find it.
I hate that, and I hate when my shoelaces are uneven and I have to unstring the whole thing. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I have one pair of sneakers that always comes untied and it pisses me off. Fuck that. Go ahead.
Just trying to coordinate everyone's schedule. Like
Oh my
in
God,
terms of
fuck
plans.
that.
It's,
Fuck that.
I wish everybody was available
I know at all times.
at all times.
Yeah.
And we could all go out and hold hands.
I totally agree. I wish I could just be like, hey, this next week, boom. And you know what? Fuck that. Wanting to do something, but then looking it up and it's like too many steps.
Yeah.
Like, hey, would love to go to the beach on July 4th. I don't know how.
Yeah. the best thing is having a friend with a house.
I know.
It
Yeah.
frees up a lot
I know.
of
I know,
planning.
but the availability thing, it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I could be like, hey, we're all doing this block. Come when you can.
Like in advance.
Yeah.
You have to, because people
Yeah.
be booked.
I know.
up, which is good,
Yeah.
but I'm selfish and I want everyone.
Well, I think that means we should
Around
look
me.
into August and get
Yeah.
ahead of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck not.
Fuck that. Fuck that. My cat shat in my shower.
Wait, how does that happen? Was she sick?
It's a behavioral issue.
She
My own behavior. I fucked up. You know, I told you guys like last week I was super low energy, and I think I have a female wave of like every 3 weeks I have to just lay for 1 week.
Maybe it's like a pseudo period.
But you can't be depressed if you have a cat because then their litter box will pile up.
Yeah.
Don't report me for abuse. It wasn't that bad. But I think if the cat doesn't like the situation with the litter box,
start leaving you.
they're like, I don't want to shit here.
Rebelling.
And there was one morning this past week, it was 3 days ago, she was meowing at like 5 a.m. I was like, the fuck? And I thought she was warm. So I took my blanket, I laid on the couch where the air conditioner is, and everyone chilled out, woke up, shit in the shower. I went through the litter box. It wasn't that bad. I think the problem with this litter box is it's deeper than it is wide. So the surface of it, which means I have to be better at the daily, which I'll admit, which my sister said she's pretty bad with her litter box and her cat is just like, whatever, I'll find a spot. But I just found out I have a particular cat that requires what I'm supposed to do anyway. But unfortunately, I did replace the litter and the bag and cleaned up the top and put new litter in it. Past 2 days, she shat in the shower again. So now we got a situation. Luckily, pretty easy to clean up. Unluckily, you got to go in the litter box.
Yeah.
So now I'm wondering, is the litter triggering her because it's associated to just like the body odor covered by perfume?
Yeah.
Is she now over that litter? Because she's pissing in it, which is good because,
Yeah.
cat piss, we can't be dealing with that.
Yeah. I feel like piss is harder to clean up than shit.
And it smells like shit and you can't get the smell away.
I didn't know that.
Emily and I lived together, my sister, and we had 4 cats.
Mm.
It was bad.
Yeah.
All of that stuff.
Cat piss.
So I think we just have a little situation where also maybe she was like, this is cool.
Ooh,
If anyone has a cat and can advise.
Yeah.
I looked up online, they said behavioral issue, maybe try a new litter box or maybe try like one litter box for piss and one for shit for something. Or maybe try putting the litter box in that area.
Okay.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Something to think about. Anyway, fuck that. And she knows she did it because I walk out, she's like, you shit in the shower? It's my own fault. It's hard when you can't get up.
Yeah, it is. It's hard.
You're like, oh, fuck the cat.
What is a cat poop like? Because I feel like I've only seen it in a litter box, and it's usually dried up by then.
It's really just like a regular old poop.
Okay.
Luckily, she's healthy, so
Yeah.
it's easily scoopable.
Okay.
Just a little stack.
Lincoln
It's like,
Logs.
yeah, it's literally like 3 Lincoln Logs. It's like a dark brown.
Okay.
That's why the litter box is easy because it scoops. But that's what I get for. It wasn't that bad.
You clean your shower after?
I think it's so funny. You're trying to do other things to comfort the cat, and in the meantime, it's just like, please, just clean the box. Ooh, I'll make it warm. Just clean the box.
Yeah.
I know.
You want a shower? No. Clean the box.
I know.
They can only use so many words.
I know.
Meow,
And when
meow.
she's talking, it's like, what's up?
Yeah.
You go to her bowl, it's empty.
They know.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not that. They know how to communicate if they need.
I know.
It's funny.
It's so
Dogs too. I like talk to my dog in a normal voice, and he knows.
They know.
I said, "Want to go to bed?" Just like that.
Yeah.
Gets up, goes upstairs. I'm like, I didn't even have to adjust my voice
so
for
insane.
you. Crazy.
Do you ever fuck that?
I gotta fuck that. You're eating a bowl, maybe it's cherries or pistachios or dates, and as you're eating them, somebody takes the pit or the shell, whatever it may be, and puts it in the bowl of fresh stuff.
Hate.
You need a separate.
Separate.
And you also need separate bowl for buffalo wings.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the bones.
Brother.
Yeah.
Bro-
Shrimp cocktail, same
I
deal.
hold the bowl. I'm like a sim. I'm like, ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. There's nowhere to put it. I'm not putting it on the plate.
Yeah.
Hate that. Fuck that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck that.
Fuck that. Fuck that. In general, sunflower seeds. Next.
Just the heat. Too
Fuck
hot.
that.
Heat in the city. Too motherfucking hot.
I've been thinking about taking a trip to Astoria Pool. I don't know if either of you are familiar with New York City public pools.
Yes.
Have you been to one?
Yes.
Which ones have you been to? I've only been to one. It's Red Hook.
There's a Y up by, I think, 23rd.
But have you been to the New York City? Like-
McCarran Park at one point, my
You've
eyes
been to that?
burned out of my skull.
they're
They really got to
like I
chlorinate
said, they're
those.
clean, but they're chlorinated.
Well, yeah, they need to.
So when I lived in Red Hook, I went to the public pool, and it was pretty fun. But the rules are so strict. I was looking up how to go to Astoria Pool. You have to bring your own combination lock. You can't get in without a combination lock. You can't wear any colors. You have to wear a white t-shirt. This rule started in the 80s, gang related.
Oh.
Yeah.
So if you get the white t-shirt wet, we're seeing your nipples.
Why? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't bring electronics out into the pool, and I don't think you can bring food either. You can bring a book.
Really?
They used to have lap time in the morning for adults, and they don't have it this year because of low staffing.
Okay.
Bro, I'm so sick of the effects of COVID.
Yeah, I know.
I did something fucked up today. Well, I guess it wasn't, but I was taking the train from my house to here, and there was a woman carrying like multiple luggage and multiple big bags of stuff up the stairs, like begging for help, and I walked right by her.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you gonna do? Then also you have to get on the train, and then how's this gonna work?
Yeah.
She had 2 huge like Fresh Direct bags and a massive bag, and I don't think she could speak English. She was screaming Greek. One guy next to her also couldn't speak English, but he was Mexican. He's like, no. And she's like,
If you're yelling,
yeah.
don't yell.
I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, gotta get away.
So I walked right by.
All right. It's New York City. You're
Did you guys do
fine.
anything fucked up?
Pretty light week. I have a friend who's in need right now, and I screened him. It's been too much.
You screened him?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Oh, he called and you didn't pick
He's
up.
been calling, and I'm letting him.
yeah.
That's allowed.
Yeah.
I finished something in the fridge, and then my girl was like, "Oh my God, where'd this go?" And I was like, "I have no idea where this went."
In college, I kept eating someone's granola.
Oh, I would do that.
Oh,
And
my
one
God.
night we were both stoned, and we were in the kitchen. He's like, "Did you eat my granola?" I was so high. I was like, "Rob, I can explain."
I ate someone's like sandwich, and it was like a beautiful sandwich.
Oh.
And it was
Nothing
this
better than when it's
girl.
thoughtfully made.
I went in her fridge and was like, ooh. And I was like sober. And she's
so
like,
funny.
why would you do that? That was for my boyfriend. And I was like,
I didn't know we were dating.
Caroline. Because, if someone did that to me, I'd be like, oh yeah, go for it. But I would think I was like hungover and really dying.
Right.
And she was like, why? Yeah, it was pretty brazen now that I think about it. And I think I bought her a new sandwich like a week later.
A week later,
She was like, what?
she's like, "I'm off bread."
Yeah.
Well, let's see if anyone
I used to do this very bad. I'd get high, and then I would eat my roommate's shit.
I would,
and then it would get to the point where he would make a lunch because he was ready together, and he would put the Post-it on the thing and say, "Do not eat this."
Yeah.
There's only 2 of us living there,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's obviously me.
hilarious. A note for one person.
And then he'd get out, and then I'd see that Post-it, and I'd just toss that shit and eat his fucking shit.
Hilarious.
You know?
A note for one person is so funny. I lived
Sorry, Tommy.
with 4 other dudes in
You did?
college. Yeah.
What?
3, sorry.
I didn't
There
know
was
that.
4 total of us. Yeah.
Wow. How did that happen?
No, there was 5 of us.
How did
Is this skinny Maddie or fat Maddie?
Both. Skinny at first, then
Transitionary
I
period.
left them fat.
Yeah.
No wonder, because I was living with all men and I was terrified. Yeah, I lived in this room in a house, junior and senior year of college. And it was one guy across the kitchen from me and 3 guys upstairs.
Oh,
Damn.
okay.
My room had a half bathroom,
Okay.
and I just lived with them.
Were you friends with them?
Yeah, at first we were friends. We would like watch TV together. I know, isn't that weird?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really weird.
And they
For 2
never
years.
like tried to be like, really?
Well, this is another part of shallowness. A friend of mine who was a guy friend of mine, when I had lost all the weight, all of a sudden he started hitting on me, and he was one of the roommates. I started dating him. Then I
Whoa.
realized I didn't want to date him.
No.
And then he was my ex in the house. And
Brutal.
I just isolated myself and got fatter and fatter. And he was upstairs.
Okay.
He was like hooking up with other people.
Oh my God.
One time he stormed in and was like, "Can we just like be friends?" And I was like, "No." He was annoyed with how I was like ignoring him. And, like,
Okay.
not talking to anyone in the house. It really crumbled. I had a bad tendency
Very
of
sloppy to,
until
you know.
age 26 of like getting too close to people and then isolating from them.
Yeah.
Anywho, and now I only have 4 friends who I won't let escape. Yeah, it was really weird. But it was like the house.
That's a hard situation.
The girls before me, yeah, it is. The girls, there was a group of girls who lived in the house before me, and they would host concerts, and they're basically like good
Oh my
host
God.
shows, like house shows.
Okay.
So it's a big like time of like Vampire Weekend,
Live
and live bands, and like cake,
Yeah. Oh, cake.
like Arcade
like
Fire, and like smaller,
my God.
and like Matt and Kim, and like
Indie.
like yeah,
Yeah.
bands with like girls, like
Yeah. Karen.
you don't know.
Yeah.
Some of the nights were fun as fuck. And they were like, you should come live in this house. And I was like, okay. And then it turned into being like, I asked like this guy who also went to the parties a lot. And he was like, cool, I'll rile some people up. And all the people ended up being men,
Nice.
which I thought was like not a big deal. And then when I lived there, I was like,
Were they disgusting?
one of the first nights I got
Yeah.
super high
Bad.
and I sat on my bed in the dark like, oh my God, I'm really scared because I live with all men and I don't
Yeah.
know them.
Right.
I'm really high and I'm scared and I don't know them.
Right.
I'm really high and I'm scared and I don't know these people.
Oh my God.
I'm really high and I'm scared and I don't know these people.
Yeah.
You're sitting in the living room. Maddie, we can all hear you.
And then it ended up being fine. I was really busy with the newspaper because I was the editor. So I just starting in junior year. So I was working a lot. And we would host parties too. It was actually junior year fall semester was one of the best few months, was a highlight of my life. Because I was like a junior, I was off campus. I was in the house that had cool parties for like the indie kids. Because Geneseo was where I went to college, pretty standard students. Not a big hippy dippy. It is liberal arts, but it's a lot of Long Island and Buffalo. There for pre-med, pre-law, kind of herpy derpy people. And we found our crew of like girls with short bangs and like talking about tattoos and girls wearing like long flowy skirts and like hairy armpits. And that's where I kind of fell into like staying up, talking shit, smoking pot, anything happens, like guitars, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very hippy dippy. And so that was like my junior year fall semester was so fun because I was like in my element. Editor of the
guy
Lamb
house?
editor of the newspaper. He was there, but we weren't hooking up yet.
No, was the guy house dirty?
We were pretty good at first, and that goes back to the note thing. One of our roommates, I call him Mike 412 because that was his room number, and I still don't know his last name to this day. It was Mike 412. We all called him that, and he would be like, want to smoke a honey blunt? Like he was very mathematical, but like not that. He was smart, but he would always be like, it's interesting. And maybe he was just autistic. We would all be like, Mike 412 is weird. And he would say stuff like, the Onitsuka brand is funnily known as Japanese, but made in America. I think he was just like autistic. Yeah. But back then I was like, I would probably get along with him now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was actually really on top. He really wanted like house like vibes, like house dinner tonight. I'll be like, no.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And a lot of us kind of bailed on dishes. I was one of them, but at the time I had like one dish a day. I would be like a peanut butter banana sandwich kind of gal because I was anorexic. And one day the sink was full and there was a note above the sink with an arrow pointing down that said, "This is not okay. My parents are coming in today. It has to be cleaned up."
Oh my
I
God.
just walked in my room and clocked the door. It was sick having your own bathroom. I almost never left them.
Yeah.
I'd hear them like
Come and go out the window.
something in the morning, get lunch, come back, watch something in the evening, still lying in my bed, just eating cheese.
Ew.
I know, so gross. Dates coming up. Yes, I'm coming to Wilmington, North Carolina. Dead Grove Comedy Club. Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville Comedy Club. Omaha Funny Bone. And open up for Theo Von and Eliza Schisslinger in August. If you want to come to that, check out my website, maddysmithcomedy.com. Hi, it's Maddie. You've reached the FUPA hotline.
Okay, so I one time was dating this Puerto Rican guy, okay? And
AOC.
when I met his cousin was shorter than him, but his cousin was actually really fucking cute. So before me and my ex got like really serious or whatever, I cheated on him. I guess it's called cheating. I don't know. Yeah, I like cheated on him with, and it was just so stupid because he actually had a dirty diaper of like, it was in his car, and he had a girlfriend at the time, and they ended up breaking up, and I ended up breaking up with my ex anyways too. We're not together or nothing, but I still think about that. Like, why would I do that? But he was short. His name is Kevin. He was short, but like so cute. I still think about him from time to time.
Okay. That's a very loaded confession. I don't think it's cheating. Also, if she's done with him, all good in the hood. Dirty diaper. I'm focusing on the dirty diaper. I'm zooming in on the dirty diaper. She kind of skipped over that really quickly.
Yeah.
Who was using that? I've seen, people do have fetishes where they'll sit in a diaper and send a photo to their, be like, "Daddy."
Maddie's
like
cat.
a binky. I saw on Twitter, like,
Gargoyle.
yeah, freak.
Oh my God.
There was a dirty diaper in his car. Do you
Yeah.
think he had a kid?
That's what I was thinking.
It's bad no matter how you slice it.
Then what were you thinking? He wears diapers.
It's either him or a kid. And
Maybe
either
he's
way,
an Amazon driver and he wears diapers. They can't shit.
he's a hard worker.
They have to wear diapers.
Yeah.
They probably piss in Gatorade bottles all day.
Yeah. I was wondering if it was piss or shit. I feel like it was probably just piss.
Oh.
I don't know. Yeah, because I feel like that would smell.
Like on The Sims when there's a dirty diaper. And
yeah, flies.
Yeah. I hate that noise when you're playing The Sims. You're like, where is it?
Yeah, I know.
Where are the flies? And your Sim's like, ah! I'm like, this is chaos. Everything's on fire. It's hard. It's hard to keep up.
I feel bad
You're
for
playing
the,
that while your apartment's on fire in the background. What'd you say?
I feel worse for the guy and the cousin because you've now sold out your family member for the rest of a lifetime over somebody that you forget.
She's not with the guy anymore.
Right, but the guys know each other forever. They're family.
Oh, right.
So now it's like every time they see each other, whether he says it or not, it's like, hey.
Does he know? Oh, right. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe they're like, whatever.
But he was fucking cute.
He was short but cute.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. Also, you might as well find out if, is the other brother worth it? Mm-hmm. She found out. Mm-hmm. No, he's not because he got a dirty diaper in his car. Because she doesn't want to spend the rest of her life wondering, right? Mm-hmm. She got it out of the way. I don't think it's cheating.
Yeah.
But I also think A-Rod's a good guy. I couldn't think of anyone. I stalled for a second. Okay, well, you guys, I had a great episode.
Me too.
It was fun doing anatomy. I learned a lot about the brain. Apparently, Ryan knows everything. I don't. Next week, we'll be covering the head. So that will be more cranial, skull, what is going on over here. So look forward to that for some stories for me. Maybe I'll focus on the fun stories and you can come with the facts. How's that?
Sure.
Peace.